Peace, family. My name is Vicky Dillard for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Family, I came across this video that initiated from TikTok from a brother that says he got basically caught up his truck. It's a black truck driver that his car broke down, his truck broke down in what's considered to be a sundown town. Now, if you're watching us, well, I was going to say anywhere in the diaspora, but even here in the United States, a sundown town, one of the first things it says when you research it is that a sundown town was a town or city in the United States that, for a significant period in the past, excluded or restricted non-white people, especially African Americans, from being within its boundaries after dark. These communities often enforce these restrictions through intimidation, violence, and discriminatory laws, including sundown ordinances. While the term primarily refers to towns excluding Black people, some sundown towns also targeted other minority groups like Asian Americans and stuff. Anyway, family, the problem with that is when they say for a significant period of the past, we're constantly hearing stories about the enforcement of modern sundown towns. Watch this video.
Being a truck driver in Florida, let me tell y'all the first experience I had of finding out what a sundown town was. It was a Thursday. I was driving a 26-foot box truck from Orlando to Gainesville. So I'm between Ocala and Gainesville, but I gotta stop and get some gas and get some food or whatever. But I see absolutely nothing as I'm driving. It ain't no houses, no buildings, just road and trees. I finally find this old Circle K gas station in the middle of nowhere. An old white lady that was helping me at the counter was sweet as can be, nice as hell. Hey baby, what brings you way out here in these sticks? You just coming to get some gas? I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of familiar with these parts, but kind of not, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to Gainesville. I'm just shooting through. I'm in and out. She's like, all right, baby, God bless. You have a good one. Get my stuff, go back out to the truck, try to put the key in there and start the truck up. It will not start up. I wait a few seconds, put the key in there again, try to start it up. It will not start up. Don't know what is wrong. So I call my dispatcher and my dispatcher tell me to look up under the hood to see if I can figure it out. I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I say to myself, man, I'm not about to go look up under this hood. I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking at. I signed up to be a driver. I ain't no damn mechanic. But I'm sitting there for like 20, 25 minutes. So I get bored. I'm like, all right, man, let me just go look up under the hood, see what I can see. So as soon as I get out of the truck, go around, pop open the hood, and as soon as I look down, the lady that was helping me in there comes out in a panic. What's wrong, baby? Is everything okay? Are you all right? I say, yeah, ma'am, I don't know what's going on with the truck. It won't start up, and I don't know much about trucks. I called my dispatcher. I don't know what they're going to do. They figuring it out now. She was like, all right, well, do you need a tow truck or anything? Do you need an Uber or a taxi to take you closer into town? And I was like, no, ma'am, I'm not allowed to leave the truck. It's a lot of valuables on this truck, and I'm delivering. I can't just leave the truck. I can't just leave it. She was like, all right, I understand. And she goes back in the gas station, but she keep looking at me, looking at her watch, looking at me, looking at her watch. And then she comes back out there and says, well, you don't want to sit up in some hot truck. You can't get it fixed, no AC, and there's nowhere for you to sit down in there. Like, so you're just going to stand out here and just sit in this hot truck? I say, honestly, man, right now, I don't have a choice. I'm just waiting for my dispatcher to hit me back. She said, okay, I understand. My dispatcher called me back and was like, listen, we got a tow truck coming out there in about 2 hours. Just sit tight. I'm like, damn, 2 hours is hot as hell. I'm ready to go. Then again, I was like, it's all right. I got food. I got drink here. The sun about to start going down. It's not going to be that hot, whatever. And I didn't want to go in the Circle K because of how the lady was acting. So I was just like, I'll be all right, whatever. She seen me get off the phone. She ran out to me again and she was just like, did you figure anything out? Do you know what you're going to do? I was like, yeah, my dispatcher said they got somebody coming in 2 hours for the tow. I'll be fine. She was like, 2 hours? The sun will be down by then. Are you sure they can't figure anything out before then? I was like, they said 2 hours. And she looked at her watch, went right back in the store. A few minutes go by, I get thirsty, so I ran in the store to go grab a Gatorade. As soon as I go in the store to get a Gatorade, she had her back turned and she was on the phone talking to the police, talking about, yeah, he's been here for a while, you gotta come get him, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't put two and two together until I bought the Gatorade and I left, and I was like, damn, she was calling the police. She was calling somebody on my. So I called my dispatcher back. I'm like, yo, I don't know what's about to go down, but this old lady that worked at this store just been giving me problems or whatever. When she found out I wasn't going to be able to move my truck, I think she just called the police on me. I don't know what's about to happen, but can y'all shake a tail feather? My dispatcher was like, why would she call the police? I was like, I don't know, and I don't want to find out. Can y'all hurry up? 5 minutes after I get off the phone, sure enough, the police pull up right behind my truck. A black police officer gets out and he asks me what's the problem, asks me what's going on. He assesses the truck and says, listen, I'm going to have to take you somewhere. I said, I can't leave my truck. Like, what are you talking about? You about to get me fired. He said, listen, I'm going to have to take you somewhere. Get in the truck. Get in the back of the truck. We driving for about 30 seconds. And I'm like, bro, where the are you taking me? He was like, are you familiar with the mall area? He was like, that's a good area. I said, yeah, I'm familiar with the mall area. He said, yeah, that's where I'm taking you. I said, what the you taking me to the mall for? I can't leave my truck. He said, you have to leave your truck. I said, why? Because that called the police on me. I ain't even do nothing. He said, she didn't call the police on you. She called the police for you. I know her personally. He said, in 45 minutes, that sun was going to go down and you was going to go missing. And I ain't say nothing else. I already knew by then. I put 2 and 2 together by that point. When we finally got to the mall, I called my dispatcher and I told the officer, I'm like, yo, I need you to tell my dispatcher why I had to leave the truck. And he grabbed the phone and told my dispatcher everything, got on the phone, called my boss and told my boss everything just so I wouldn't get in trouble. The lady was scared for my life. Even the officer didn't even stick around. He like, yeah, I'm just gonna drive you out here. Cause he could have easily been like, well, I'm just gonna stick here with you so nothing happened to you. He was like, nah, we gotta go. We gotta go. Even when the tow truck guy came and picked me up, I told him where it was at. He put it in the GPS. He was like, yeah, I'm not going over there. I said, what the hell? He said, yeah, I'm not going over there that late. I'll come back and get it in the morning. Didn't want no part. So yeah, this was about 7 years ago, and I swear I think about that every other day. Damn near every day. Because she could have just not said nothing. She could have just let me sit there. And I would have went missing like.
Okay, family. Now, I was looking at some of the comments, and I saw some of our people say things like, you know, what is this man running out of gas for? You know, there's no reason for Black folks I guess in modern times not to know about sundown towns and all this kind of stuff. Yes, it's important to be informed, but we in 2025, so Jim Crow's supposed to be over with. So we need to take responsibility so that we can live. But more than that, I need the brothers and sisters that's out there saying it to take responsibility and see what you're going to do about it. Too many of us know about military because we're in the military. Too many of us know about police and law enforcement because we're in it or we're part of it or knows how it operates. I have long said, even when I was on other platforms and stuff, I showed a video years and years ago about a group of brothers actually, but this brother was by himself. This was his particular operation to where he was actually recording the police. Not because of something they necessarily did to him, but they have a group of basically clandestine group of basically community folk that basically police the police. Now, I'm not going to give you any advice to put yourself in any harm's way. But family, we can't be sitting up here talking about we at war and what them folks doing, and we're not going to take responsibility and act like we're really at war and make sure that we're not only doing defensive tactics, but offensive ones. Let me hit the gavel on that. So yes, we need to hold each other accountable in terms of being informed. But no, I shouldn't be don't put me, this is not supposed to be happening. See, this is not supposed to be happening. And other than avoidance, what else are we going to do about it to ensure that we don't have to live like that and we don't have to get caught up? Anything could have happened. What if he was driving for such a long period of time that he was looking, he realized that he was out of gas, thinking that he was he would get to the next place within, I don't know, maybe a few hundred miles, several hundred miles. I don't know what the situation is, but let's not start putting the blame on each other for everything all the time. No, let's keep holding them folks accountable. 100% pressure on them. Yes, we need to use wisdom. Yes, we need to still plan because we know how them folks are. But at the same time, there should be other offensive as well as defensive tactics for us. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just like that there are investigatory organizations, there need to be those where we enforce and police our own community and we police the police in our own way that has to do with safety and intelligence and strategy. That's my suggestion. We need to have our own Black investigatory agencies. My name is Vicki Diller, beloved. Be sure to check out my website and my school at VickiPlanet.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to my own personal channel at VickiDiller.tv. I'm going to be expanding, beloved, on other networks as well. I can't wait to share that information with you and other projects I've got coming up. I can't wait to see you again.